welcome back into episode 14 of Race Central Unplugged. Back like nothing ever happened. Feels like we were just recording episode 13. But Kurt, how's it going? How are you?
I'm wind blowing today.
Yeah?
It's 65 degrees outside, but I just walked in from outside and I felt like my wig was going to blow off. Not that I have a wig.
Yeah, your hair's looking good. Looks like you just got a blowout. Are you just got back from the dry bar?
I don't know what any of those things are, and I know this is unplugged. And I know we just watched you unpack your new phone case for like the last 10 minutes. Yeah, like I said, it's $80 of packaging, and a phone case is like $1.
Yeah, unbelievable.
But you're happy, which is fine. We should do. I think during the holidays we should do Christmas with Sydney.
Yes, absolutely.
And unwrap a package every week.
Yeah.
I don't have that many friends. But 1 week I'd be done.
Yeah, me too, honestly. So
right.
Well, anyways, Kurt, you are looking like Billy Idol today. I'm just kidding. But last time in the studio, I played Billy Idol on the radio, and you said that you used to have hair like him.
I did. Unbelievable. And Bruce Willis. I had the Bruce Willis look in the early '80s when he was doing the moonlighting shows. No kidding, really.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
That seems like 5,000 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I wish that we could get our hands on some old photos, but I used to do. I did some modeling and stuff, and for BMW and a commercial and stuff. And I used to get that a lot. But really,
yeah, that was like I say, 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, well, you should talk to Bradley. He's a model. He's been in some commercials.
Really?
You know that?
Son of a gun.
Yeah, he was actually in a commercial that airs during Monday Night Football.
What?
Yeah.
So your boyfriend's famous?
Yeah, well, kinda.
Does he have a SAG card? I have a SAG card. Is he there?
That? No, he's not
Screen
here.
Actors Guild, and you have to do four. You have to do 4 commercials, 4 network commercials to get one, and then they're very expensive to keep. And with all the stuff that's gone on in the last few years, a lot of talent people in production companies won't hire you if you have a SAG card because you get paid on a scale, and they don't want to pay SAG rates. I can go into. I am so full of minutia shit that doesn't matter to anybody.
Well, he's been in a few things, although I'm not sure he has one of those. I'll have to ask him about it. But
wow.
Regardless.
Jeez, Sid, gosh. Radio producer, video cast producer, host. We've had you on Race Central TV. I mean, you're building quite a resume. I should sign you to a talent contract.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll be doing a little infield interviews during races here up at Colorado National Speedway this summer, we hope. I mean, we've got a lot going on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a fun summer. Everyone that's listening, make sure you stay tuned because we're going to be out and about in the summer. So, speaking of this, of things that we're doing, there's a lot of things going on that we need to talk about today. Right. We'll start with Indy Car at Texas.
So, and here's the thing about Texas. For people that follow open wheel racing, heavily and have done so for a long time, this is a very wild, wicked, and fast place. And it wasn't, it was probably at least 2 decades ago-ish that the Champ Car World Series went there. And that might have even been before it was Champ Car. It might have been when it was still kart. And the cars were going so fast that Michael Andretti was suffering blackouts, blackouts because of the G-force up on the oval. And so this is probably 2.5 more green stuff. This is probably more like 2.5.
Blacking out in the car?
Yeah.
Whoa.
A lot of the drivers were because of the heavy G load. They were going 230 some odd miles an hour. Now, in Indy, you go to 230, 235. But because of the track dimensions and dynamics and layout, the G loading is not as intense as it is at Texas, because the way the track is banked, you might go from a few Gs all of a sudden to 5 Gs. It's like it's almost instantaneous, and so it puts a lot of pressure on the head. And he was actually, 1, 2 type of stuff blacking out, and a lot of the drivers complained of it. So the drivers all got together and went to the race stewards, and they said, we got to slow the cars down. And if memory serves me correct, I think they ended up canceling the race because the cars were just too fast, and they didn't have a short fix for that problem. I could be wrong on the race cancellation, but I don't think this is a long time ago. Mm-hmm. I had hair back then, but it was a big deal now. And interesting enough, in the IRL, which is now Indy Racing, the cars are still obviously still very faster, but they had time to remedy that condition. But the thing about Texas is because the track is so wide and the way it's laid out, you could get 3, 4, 5 abreast racing, and there's not a race that happens at Texas where there's not some wheel banging, and it gets pretty intense. Scott Sharp, back when he was driving in the IRL in the Delphi car, said he loved Texas and he hated it. He loved it because he liked to go there and go fast, but he hated it because every lap, cars were coming, this close, and you could count on 2 hands, maybe more, of the times there was contact with the wheel or a side pod. It's just one of those places. Yeah. So IndyCar goes back there this weekend with a sponsor from, back from the kart days. PPG, who's a big paint company, and it was a kart PPG series way back when. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. But I tell you one thing for sure, it's going to be some pretty big time stuff. And our good friend Santino Ferrucci, who's never seen an oval he didn't want to pass everybody on, will be up to his nasty tricks again. I think 2 years in a row he passed the most cars at the Indy 500. The guy he loves to wheel it. But
is he coming on the show tomorrow?
No. It's because they're Texas, and 3 to 5 the drive does conflict with track time a lot of times. So that's just the way it goes. But
is there any talk going into this race from the drivers about concerns about that, or is that kind of a thing of the past? How fast it is?
Nobody likes to talk about it. It's just a pucker factor. There'll be a lot of it. It's one of those places, and if you look at the IndyCar series now, especially with all the temporary road courses and permanent road courses or street courses in the temporary sense, you've got now Scott Dixon, of course, is a master on the ovals. He'll be just fine. We've got a lot of young guys that have come into the series now, very talented people, but not a lot of time on what we call big ovals. Yeah, and a lot of the guys that are kind of the new force, the new age of IndyCar racing, doesn't have a lot of big, fast oval experience. I expect to see Scott Dixon do very well and probably win this race just because the experience on the ovals is so big.
Yeah. So, it'll be an interesting race. There might be, is that green stuff?
No, it's called the John Daly.
What's in the John Daly?
Alcohol.
I know, but what actually is the drink?
Iced tea, lemonade, and booze.
Okay, well, that'll be an interesting one. We'll have to see.
I'm getting a text from somebody. Let's see.
Good news or bad news?
Oh, good news. It's like, they just need to come into 11 Legacy Ridge, my office, away from my office, having a great lunch and an adult beverage. So anyway.
Are you at the golf course?
Yes, I am.
Nice.
Which is surprising. I got such a good streaming connection. I was worried about that.
Mm-hmm. So when was the last time? Is this the first time that they're having IndyCar at this?
No. They've been going back there for years.
Okay, right. Right.
It's one of the check your cojones at the doors and pucker up, Buttercup, and let's get it on.
Wow. Well, that sounds like fun. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, I can't believe we're already 10 minutes in, so we'll just skip right over to our next one. Hendrick fines for unapproved hood flaps. What's the deal there?
So I'm not going to go into all the gory details because I really don't care. They got some heavy fines and penalties, points and such. They appealed. They rescinded, a lot of it. And, as a friend of mine said, is that kind of a black eye for NASCAR because they tried to get very heavy-handed. And it's not really a black eye. Hendrick's got a lot of juice.
You mean they tried to get heavy-handed with the fines?
NASCAR got a little heavy-handed, but they're trying to send a message, and I get it, and I don't have a problem with it because all these guys are cheating. It's just you got to catch them. They're doing something. Trust me.
So the hood flap that they were using was like more aerodynamic, or
no? So they ran the high aero package. There's my lovely assistant Kylie. I'm doing my podcast, so. And she's got her LA Dodgers hat on. Oh, very nice. You're looking very springy today. But so they ran the high downforce package at Phoenix, and I believe that what they were trying to do is, vent the air differently out of the hood so the car would go faster. And they got caught, and but that's okay. But NASCAR, I think they tried to make a statement, and the statement they made is if we get real heavy-handed with you, appeal and come up with it's like court. It's not who's telling the truth. It's who lies the best as the best attorney.
Right.
Get your big stick out, and if you beat NASCAR enough, they may amend stuff. Now, having said that, if it was a little team, maybe JTG or a smaller team that doesn't have the power of a Hendrick, might be a different story. But anyway, they cut back a lot of the points and the fines and stuff and bully for Rick Hendrick.
So is it sort of like an MLB thing where everyone is kind of cheating on the low? That everyone's doing little things, but one person gets caught. Is it like that situation? Like every team, I'm assuming every team has like little things that they do. Or
it's much harder now with the new car because everything's supposed to be exactly the same across the board.
Right.
It's pretty easy to catch. Back in the old days, oh my God, who knows? But it was a ballsy move, and it almost paid off for him.
Yeah. Wow. Well, better luck next time, I suppose.
Better luck next time.
Well, two former F1 drivers racing at Kota. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, a couple of the teams have projects going on. And one of them is Trackhouse, and they put former Formula One champion Kimi Räikkönen in the car at Kota. And actually, Kimi has won there in Formula One years ago, but a super talented road racer, obviously. Also, Jenson Button, former Formula One champion. So you had two Formula One drivers at the race, or competing in the race at Kota, which is pretty interesting. But then what's even more interesting, we keep talking about this expanded presence and the big push of Formula One, take mine, Indy Car, to keep pushing their brand. And so Gunther Steiner, who is the team principal president of Haas Automation's Formula One team, which is Tony Stewart's partner at Stewart Haas for NASCAR. So they had Gunther Steiner in the booth with the fellas, and Tony Stewart broadcasting the race, which was really interesting.
Really?
It just kind of brought on a different flavor, more international flavor. And Gunther's a crazy person. Who knows what's going to come out of his mouth, which is why he was so popular on the Netflix series. But it's just pushing the brand of Formula One, pushing into good old giddy-up, yeehaw, Ford F-150 truck. Where's my Ruger? And get my cowboy hat and my boots in Texas. Pretty interesting stuff, but they continue to push the brand. And and I know IndyCar is behind on their TV series. They will roll out, I think, this weekend a limited version of the miniseries they're doing called 100 Days to Indy. They better hurry up. I mean, that title is going to go away real soon, but they're going to get that thing rolled out. So it's just the continued brand extension of Formula One into really Americana.
Yeah, but what? So was there? How did that even come about? Those two F1 drivers. What did they need more drivers, or are they done?
No. The teams, Trackhouse being one, it's just good exposure for. I mean, we're talking about it. They talked about it all day long, 4 hours of broadcasting from Kota. It just keeps us talking about. It's just. I mean, one of the best things that ever happened to Plexico Burris was he shot himself in the leg. I mean, they were talking about that, and then Talib, didn't he shoot himself in the foot or something, or slip on a banana? Or he did something stupid.
No, he's always doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, these guys aren't doing something stupid. They had pretty good races. Kimi was.
Yeah, I was going to say, how'd they do?
They finished okay. But they're not. They're not running for a Hendrick or for a Gibbs or not that Trackhouse. I mean, they finished second in the championship last year, but it's just par for the course. But you got the teams a lot of exposure, bring some European money in and sponsorship, and
shake things up a little bit. What would you say the biggest difference is? And this is unrelated to like the whole point, which is they're trying to market F1 in the States. But what would you say the biggest differences or the biggest challenges for an F1 driver going from racing F1 to NASCAR?
Oh, boy. The car is just like, asking me the difference between roadkill and some Kobe beef. I mean, you go from a car that turns on a dime, stops on a dime, accelerates on a dime, and is lightning fast in terms of the steering input and the way it works to a 4,000-pound, beast.
Right.
It's just that we don't have enough time.
Oh, we have the time.
No, we don't. Because I'm getting dirty looks over here from Kylie going, when are we going to get started on our stuff over here? Plus, she's wearing a Dodger hat. I'm a Dodger fan, so yeah, don't look at me like that.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're an F1 driver and you're in the car, NASCAR, the race is about to start. What do you focus? Like, what's your biggest concern?
Oh shit! I mean, I've never been in that position, but I can tell you, going from a former Atlantic car or Indy Lights car to a sedan, I mean, just everything is different. And it was hot in Kota, so it's probably 130, 150 inside the car. It's just everything is so different.
But there's no advantage. Like, you think that the F1 driver is at a disadvantage? Like, you don't think coming from, okay.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
So
if
a NASCAR driver went and raced F1, you think they would perform better? No.
It's all about the muscle memory and the learning curve. You hear all these stories of, allegedly way back in the day, Jeff Gordon, when he was racing NASCAR, did a swap with Juan Pablo Montoya when he was racing Indy cars. And the Indy car is still even a whole other world than a Formula One car. And they said within 5 laps, Jeff was doing times that would have, put him at the sharp end of the grid in the Indy car. I don't believe it. It's just all bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how much time do we have? Do we need to?
I gotta go.
Okay. Can I ask you one more question?
No.
I can't?
Of course you can.
Okay. If you could be a superstar,
I am.
more so than you already are right now, what would you rather be, a superstar in F1 or a superstar in NASCAR, and why?
Oh, Formula One. It's truly a mass. Not that NASCAR isn't global, but I mean Formula One. I mean, motor racing is the number one spectator sport in the world and in the U.S. But I mean, Formula One is so global and so big, and you're talking about guys that are making. So I mean, they could buy and sell. The guys at the top could buy and sell Michael Jordan, or it's just the money, the prestige, the glamour, the chicks. Or did I say chicks? I mean, everything about it is. It's like you're living your life in a platinum encased, cylinder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess so. but there's something about being a NASCAR driver that's like real, like it's like classic. It's Americana. It's like,
yeah, that's right. That NASCAR is very cool. It's unbelievable to watch, to be there on the grid when 40 cars go by you at 200 miles an hour is pretty exciting. It is Americana, but again, and this is true because I've been to South America and Europe a lot. Europeans and South Americans love anything America. I mean, Levi's blue jeans, cowboy boots. I mean, that's the stores in Austin get cleaned out by all the Euros that come here, and they buy all the cowboy. Back when I skied in Argentina back in the day, they had Bonnie Bell, the skin company, had these red, white, and blue mirrored sunglasses. They were Bonnie Bell glasses. And I bought up as many as I could. I took them to Argentina. I'd buy them for $10 and I'd sell them for like $100. Everybody wanted to have Bonnie Bell American mirrored skiing sunglasses.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Kurt, good answer. I think that a lot of people would say F1, but there's still some, well, no, not a lot of people, but.
You might be surprised in America, but see, again, with the pushing of Formula One and the branding, it's bringing millions of new fans to Formula One. And you might be, it depends on the sample size, but you might be surprised what happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely a bright future for F1 here in the States. Kurt, this is a quick one today. Well, not that quick. I mean, we're just about 8 minutes less than we usually do, but it was good chatting with you. Good show tomorrow. Make sure everyone tune in on Friday, of course, from 3 to 5 on ESPN Denver 1600 and streaming across the globe at racecentral.com.
RaceCentralMedia.com.
RaceCentralMedia.com. Kurt, it was good chatting with you.
You too, kiddo. Be good. Say hi to your man.
I will. All right,
ask me who's got a SAG card.
Okay, I will. All right. We'll see everyone next week for episode 15.
You got it.